everyone, we have a special live stream for you today. I have Martin from GitHub. So we're going to be reviewing your open source projects with Martin. And for those of you who don't know Martin, let me just share his Twitter and bring it up on screen. So Martin is the Senior Director of DevRel at GitHub. And the one piece of information I really, really love is Martin created the original Microsoft org on GitHub, which I just think is freaking awesome. So, Martin, please give yourself an intro and tell us more about that. That sounds really exciting.
So hey everyone, my name is Martin Woodward. So friend of Eddie's for a while. We've done a stream together, I think, before, haven't we, Eddie? But
no, this is our first one, I think.
Is it?
We talked about it, but we never actually got around to doing it.
There we go. Oh well, it's typical. So I worked at Microsoft for a long time, for like 10 years before I came over to GitHub. And helped with a bunch of the open source stuff over there, and kind of helped teams learn how to do open source and all that sort of stuff. So, from like the TypeScript team to the Windows team and Office and people like that. And helped. I originally created the GitHub org. It ran on my credit card for a little while, and I had to expense it back in. It was a little bit. But I used to look after a thing called Coplex, which was like Microsoft's open source hosting thing. And then I was like, we should probably move this to GitHub. So was involved in all that sort of stuff as well. So yeah, that was me. Anyway, hey everybody, good to see you. Hey Julia, hey Emma, it's all great.
Yeah, you're right. We should do shout outs. So let's go and scroll to the top. We got Shavash was first, Julia was second, Praduma, you were slow today, Praduma, third. Praduma's usually first. No, that's really good. You're all still early. Karuna, Emma, web developmentor, other Emma and Julia and Yasin. Awesome to have you all here. And thank you, Julia. I'm wearing this Iron Man, like kind of, is that it? Is that correct?
Yeah, can't remember what we called that. There is a name for it. It's not Iron Man because obviously Marvel would sue us if we tried to do something like
True.
that. But and then I'm wearing my GitHub hoodie as well here because it's a little bit cooler where I am, Eddie, than it is with you. Where are you in the world anyway? Where I know you just keep moving whenever I see you. Where are you now?
Yes, I'm currently in Bali, but if you ask me in 3 weeks, that will change. We've been here 6 months, so end of 6 months. So end of the month, we're going to head back to the UK. We're going to do a week in Singapore, a week in Dubai, and then mid-May be back in the UK. And I'll be seeing Emma hopefully in London as well in June, hopefully. So looking forward to that. Anyone else around London, do come and say hi. And yourself, so you're in Ireland, is that correct?
Yeah, Northern Ireland, so just outside, about sort of 30 minutes outside of Belfast. So
nice.
Easily enough. So it's not too bad. And I'll probably be starting to travel again at the end of June, early July. So I might well see you. I'll be in England in July and things. So yeah, be good.
Hopefully I'll catch you before we leave for Portugal for the summer. So that would be that's another story. We'll talk about
You're taking the travel kit with you there as well, like this 75 kilo travel kit to Portugal.
When I go to Portugal, I drive, so I fill up the entire car. So I take
a lot more. Pick a bigger kit.
Exactly. Francesca, thank you so much for the donation. I really appreciate it. Francesca is streaming, I think, in like just under an hour. So we always clash, but this time we didn't clash 100%, just a bit of overlap as well. Again, Francesca's streaming about open source 2 as well. We did an open source stream with Francesca a week or 2 ago.
Awesome.
So awesome. Okay, should we get started? I'm conscious of time. And Martin, is there anything else you would like to discuss before we start reviewing some open source projects?
No, let's do it. Just a big shout out and thanks to the Yeti Hub community. It's just been amazing to watch all the work you've all been doing. So yeah, I'm definitely excited about this.
Awesome, thank you, and thank you for supporting us. We really appreciate it. And yeah, Eddie Hub members have been.
You've got some GitHub swag waiting for you when you get home, by the way. I know for a fact because I shipped it. So
thank you so much. I did get some notification from UPS saying you've got some boxes waiting from you.
Yeah, there's one of these bad boys waiting for you.
It's full screen. 1 second.
This is there you go. Put me up on screen. Hang on a sec. Let me cover my eyes. There you go. Look at that. You got one of them waiting for you when you get home.
Nice.
So no, obviously yours will look a bit better than that. That's mine, but 3D printed in steel, Eddie. Steel.
That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool.
Anyway, yeah.
I do love the GitHub swag. Has
if anyone wants their own, they can go to skyline.github.com. They have to print their own, I'm afraid, out of plastic probably rather than steel. So, but It's all good. Anyway,
That's still
for our
awesome.
star of the year, we have to make something special for you, don't we?
Thank you so much. I mean, to be honest, the community is really what helps me. They're amazing. They really help each other. I get so many GitHub notifications, but 98% of them are taken care of by the community already.
Yeah, it's just phenomenal to see everybody helping each other out. That's what I love about the community. It's just how supportive they are and how just giving comments. And I was looking through some of the projects we're going to review, and all of the comments people were giving, it was really solid advice, and it was all like leveling people up and bringing people up. There was no like meh, or any of that.
Yeah.
It's just such a lovely, supportive community. So again, absolute pleasure to be here. So thanks for having me.
No, awesome. We look forward to doing more of these.
Right, let's do some.
Let's do it. Okay. Oh, I add it to the stream. Here we go. We're going to start off with the oldest one, work our way forward, and then we'll do that for about 45 minutes-ish. And then for the last, how much time we've got left, we'll pick some from the audience. So everybody who is watching, if you want your project reviewed, yes, it will go to page 1. I know we're on page 10, but we will pick some numbers from the chat as well. So we will do yours too. To submit yours, link in the description below, and down there you'll get Martin's Twitter as well. I did share it in the chat, but it's probably gone off the screen already. So there's Martin's Twitter. Do follow Martin to learn more about awesome GitHub stuff that they're doing. Okay, let's do it. Hey, Mikhail, how you doing? Okay, let's go. All right, pick the oldest one first. Here we go. As I mentioned, loads of these have had comments on already, which I think is brilliant.
We've got 11 pages of them now, by the way, but it's
just gone up. Don't do a refresh.
no, don't hit refresh. Don't hit refresh. We're good.
Okay. We're good. Okay, so I'm going to scroll right to the bottom. Okay, so this is a profile review, I think. Yeah, GitHub profile review. Okay, I think this profile needs a bit more attention. It's quite hard to review. It's not customized yet, so maybe I might leave that as a comment.
Yeah,
and we might have to pick on the next one unless someone's beaten me to it already. Unless something's changed. Maybe they've changed because people are saying, I'm going to leave it open. We'll come back to this another time, I think. Just conscious of time.
Yeah, it looks like they've reset it or something, but yeah.
Yeah, so I'll leave that for the moment, and then we'll go to the next one. This is a profile review as well. Okay, Prathamesh. It's looking pretty good already. And what are your first thoughts, everyone in the chat? And do you write your answers? And while you're writing that, let's ask Martin, see what you think.
Well, I really like the use of an animated GIF actually in the emoji. You know what I mean, for the wave. That's a great one. So that and
it's subtle, right? Nice. It's not like everything is animated. I think sometimes people go too animated, but you're right. This is really subtle, really tasteful.
Yeah, and it's really super clean, super pro. Yeah, this is good. It gives you exactly what you need. You go straight to, you got all the links there straight away. I don't know, this is pretty good. I'm having trouble finding something. I'm trouble finding something to improve on this. Prathamesh is doing an amazing job.
It's they've got their full name, which I really like. Some people miss that out, and you just have the username, and it's not always their name. Bio. They're part of the GitHub organization, which is awesome. They got some links. They got location. I really like location because it helps with time zone for me. I don't know what you think, Martin, but I really like.
Yeah, definitely. One of the things we're looking at doing as well is seeing if we can give you a bit. If you put location in, we're looking at trying to give you some more hints, so that if you're creating an issue or if you're going to mention somebody, then tell you what time zone it is for them, so you don't mention them at 3 in the morning.
See, got you.
Like that. So definitely encourage people to put locations in if you want to. I think that'll help. I love a link out to other social as well. Right now we only really support Twitter on that, but the fact you put it in your GitHub profile really helps. It gives that sort of side. So yeah, it looks good. They've got recent GitHub activity going on, so they'll be using a GitHub action to do that. Yeah,
and then there's an expand collapsible part here, which doesn't always work very well in Safari. So that's my bad for that. Let's try again. There we go. Second time lucky. Good old refresh.
Yeah.
I'm not a huge fan of this widget because whatever you do, it always says A+. I've never seen anything ever say anything different. So for me, I'm not a huge fan. So I will minimize that. What are your thoughts on this recent GitHub activity? Because I used to have that. I don't think I have that anymore. And the reason for that is I feel that it's kind of, is it not down here already?
It is. I was going to say, I mean, it shows me that Prathamesh knows how to use GitHub Actions because,
Okay.
this is being automated. So that's nice. But yeah, it's kind of duplicative of the stuff that's further on down, and also like your contribution graph and things like that. And the fact because the merges, it's actually not helping Prathamesh here because the merges are all merges into their own Hacktoberfest repo.
Yeah.
So what you're not seeing is contributions out to other projects and things like that. So I would personally wouldn't bother with that one, but hey, it shows me that you know how to use actions, so that's cool.
That's true. That's true. So there's like a kind of, definitely a positive out of that. And Emma mentioned the volunteer experience is a really important. I think that's yeah, that's really good. Something definitely different.
And that's something I look for a lot. I mean, I know we're not, it's somebody who's like a hiring manager and things. That's something I look for when I'm looking at DevRel hires because you find people who do DevRel, like they're volunteers, they're people who build communities, the people who do stuff. And so again, like I typically go, okay, what meetups have they helped run? What communities have they helped run already? So that's great from my point of view. But no, I like it. It's super clean. It's not too over the top. I think it's a great job. Just maybe kill that recent GitHub activity thing. Apart from that, looks good.
Nice. And we've also got Karuna saying streak widget. I can't remember which one that is. I've seen so many widgets over the time. I can't remember which one.
Yeah, so I'm gonna push back on it. I think it's a good idea, and I like you trying to do it. I'm a big fan of seeing gaps in your contribution graph. I like to see if I see a graph that's like 100% green, then I worry about the person burning out. And so I like to see a graph that's got, it's lovely to see some streaks, but also it's good to see some gaps in there as well. And then that's one of the reasons why we used to have streaks like called out with inside the graph, but we took it out to try and stop encouraging too much burnout. You know what I mean?
That's true. And also then you'd worried, are they using some GitHub action or a bot to kind of fake the green squares as well? It doesn't seem so realistic. You're right. If it's just 100% like green. So yeah,
that's good. And then
Prathamesh
is good. You had a great sort of summer in October. Let's pick it up again. Let's do some more open source contribution. You had a great Hacktoberfest, and then you seem to have stopped. So it'd be good to kind of get back in, do some more open source, come back to the Eddie Hub community. There's plenty of people here that'll help you out and give you some projects to contribute to. So yeah, that'll be what I would say.
Exactly. No, that's great advice. Love it. The first one being reviewed by Martin. I'm a bit nervous. Maybe Martin should look at mine later on as well and get some feedback.
Oh, don't look at mine. Mine's terrible. I haven't even got to read me on mine. But there we go.
What? Everyone encouraged Martin to.
I know. I need to do it. It's one of those things I keep meaning to get around to. So maybe I'll do it this weekend. Right, go on.
Okay, next one. I should be leaving some notes on this one actually. I should have left.
Yeah, Laurel, it's true that having gap, like as a hiring manager, if I see gaps, that makes me happy. I know that like probably seems perverse, but yeah, I need to know this person knows how to look after themselves, and knows how to take a break, knows how to have some balance. So yeah.
And the GitHub activity is duplicated, but demonstrates. Actions.
Thanks, Emma and Emma, agreeing with my advice on the don't go for too many streaks thing, and Laurel does as well, so that's good. Yeah, awesome. Karuna, my get graph is also full of gaps, so don't stress too much about that.
It's great to see lots more people coming in from Eddie Hub. Give them definitely a shout out. Emma's one of our mods. Laurel, I did a call with yesterday about their open source project. We're doing a live stream about that on Monday. Accessibility project. Laurel, nice. Share something about that in the chat. It's an amazing project.
Yeah. Aldrin was just saying they thought that they were the only one seeing A+ everywhere, so they were quite laughing at that one. So that's good.
Actually, I tell you what, everyone here can help me out and get some activity on their GitHub profile. If someone could maybe fill in some of the gaps that I missed, because I'm sure Martin said a lot more things that I've missed. Maybe put a comment in this one.
In here, but anyway, there you go. Cool.
I can share it in the chat as well, and then people can also get some activity. Okay. Nice. Create some thoughts. I'll leave it at that for now. we go. Right.
Sweet.
Oh, I should have closed that. People can still comment. I will close it. People can still comment. Go ahead. Next up, we have, is it a profile? It's a profile again. Okay. Let's have a look. Oh, another waving hand.
Yeah.
Animated also person at the computer. I'm guessing that is one that people can just, like a stock one people can get.
Yeah. Again, like you say, for this one's nice and the profile pitch is good. Got the location in. Don't have links out to, don't have a Twitter, which is fine. You know, we've got links out to the other social there. I liked on the previous one we saw that like the picture's nice, but it kind of gets away with some of the facts. You know what I mean? Like the animation's a little bit distracting and stuff.
Let me make a comment.
And then what do you reckon to the graphs for? What do you reckon to the icons for the languages and tools? I don't know what I think to that. It's attractive, but I don't know what I think.
Yeah, it's I mean, there are also links to the platform they talk about. Maybe grouping them together. If that took up more space, is that better or worse? I mean, if you put the cloud ones together, like Google and AWS, and then they put the languages or databases together, Mongo and MySQL, it will take up more space. Is that good? Is that bad?
I know, like you've already got on the focus what you're learning about GraphQL and TensorFlow, which is awesome. You know, it's always good to highlight what interests you when people are looking, and the pin projects as well there, like Notify, which is some AI, tracking system, and then it's some good stuff here. So, and some nice consistent, like that's a healthy contribution graph. We were just talking about healthy contribution graphs. That's a healthy one. There's some gaps in there. There's a week off, around the holidays and all that sort of stuff. So that to me is a good contribution graph. So.
Okay, nice. And this is, really like this graph at the bottom.
Yes.
I think it's so valuable. Yeah, it's so valuable because I want to see someone quite well-rounded. So we've got Carl in the chat who's working on the GitHub API.
Right.
And Carl's graph always looks really well-balanced between reviews, issues, pull requests, and commits. I think if anything's like weighted too heavy on one side, then I don't think it looks as good. I mean, it's 100% commits or even 100% issues or 100% code reviews. I think the 100% isn't great. What are your thoughts?
It's nice to see some balance. What that tells me about a person is that they're mostly working on their own projects rather than running an open source community and rather than contributing to something. You know what I mean? So that's what I take away from that. It's not a bad thing. But that's what I take away from that. And then, as I say, it's nice and clean though, so I like it. Also has a link out to their GitHub Pages-based blog, which is nice. So it's all good. And you can easily do. I see, you see where you got the link out to the blog there. Super easy to do custom domains with GitHub Pages, and you can put your own CNAME file in there, and then you get a custom domain for your GitHub Pages-based website. And if you do that, it means not that you'd ever want to leave GitHub Pages, that would be a terrible thing. But if you ever decided in the future to move away from using GitHub to host your blog or whatever, then you can do that very easily, and you don't need to redirect people, and you've built up your SEO as a brand, which is useful. And you could also use that domain for custom email as well. They're not too expensive domains. You need to get them from different people, so that custom domain maybe would be good.
That's a good idea. But I do like this GitHub domain, like as in
the GitHub page
GitHub.io. I love it. I think it's great.
Yeah.
But I know what you mean about hot SEO if you do want to move it one day.
Yeah.
So,
Laurel had a question actually there about, like, out of curiosity, how much time do you generally spend looking at a person's GitHub profile? I'm probably not that much. If I'm actually like, if somebody. Yeah, we've hired people who don't have any GitHub profile, you know what I mean? By looking at their LinkedIn and looking at their resume. If you're doing like a DevRel role or a community manager role, I definitely expect to see some sort of activity there. And depending on the role, I might look at what projects you've been contributing to. And a good README definitely puts you over the edge because it gets you the information you need quicker. Like, instantly, I've got access here to the person's LinkedIn, their GitHub. The GitHub link's a bit reductive because I'm already on their GitHub, so why do I need to link to their GitHub actually? But I've got instant access. I can get hold of them if that's something I know what they're into. So that's all good. But I probably, to be honest, this is terrible. Like that recent DevRel job we did, we were getting like over 500 applications a day for it.
A day?
Yeah, dude. And so I probably spend like on the initial screen, like 30 seconds to a minute per like resume, quick scan, boom, 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 and then like do a short list, get it down to under 100 in total, and then go dig into them. So not that long, which is why it's nice to make the information clear that you want to get to as quickly as possible, which is what are they interested in, what do they do, what makes them tick,
I love that. That's really interesting. Yeah, 500 a day. You've got to keep it short and sweet. And then when you get to your shortlist, do you revisit their GitHub and maybe if you've got a shortlist of 3 or 5 people or whatever it is?
Yeah.
You then dig deeper.
Look at their LinkedIn and stuff, and again, I generally look at that stuff before, like if we're bringing them in for interview. Just like you refresh yourself sort of in the 10 minutes before you interview somebody and things like that, just to remind everybody. Emma, you're saying about it being competitive. Don't worry about it being competitive. Anybody, like for any of these jobs, you can work at GitHub, you can work at like any of the companies in tech. The mere fact that you're in this community and that you're this level of interested already puts you ahead of like 99% of those applications that we had in. So like, yes, jobs of these types of roles are super competitive, but also never, ever, ever let that put you off. You should see the terrible people that apply, or the terrible applications you get through. There's nothing better for imposter syndrome than being a hiring manager, I think, and looking through different people's resumes and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, do it. Apply for the next job that you see.
Definitely do it. Absolutely. I love that. I actually want to share some thoughts on what I look for in people's when hiring for my clients. And I'm interested to get everyone's feedback and your feedback, Martin, as well. So please. I definitely look at people's GitHub on the shortlist, which is what usually I get given. And I don't look at what people think I'm looking for. So for example, I go look at, yes, of course I go look at their latest code, but I kind of really don't kind of care how good it is. I'm doing air quotes because good is
I would rarely look at the commits. I look
exactly. But what I would like to look at, I look at what it is like today, whatever that is, and then look at it like 3 months ago and just see, is it better now? Because it shows me that they're still learning and improving. And that's why I try to encourage everyone, put your side projects, no matter how good or bad they are, on your GitHub, because you need that kind of history, I think. I don't know what everyone else's thoughts are.
I would agree with you totally. And like there's the side projects are the thing that I find the most interesting rather than what you get paid to work on. And just like what's your passions, what's your interests, and what's important to you. That's the thing I care about. So
that's really true. And another thing I really like looking for is people's issues and reviews. So I love looking when they raise an issue. On their own project, I keep it really, I don't look at it too much because for people's own project, they make it really short. But if they raise an issue on someone else's project, I want to see, have they given kind of context, or do they say, like, following our discussion on Discord, I've chosen option B. And I'm thinking, well, what is option B? Like, where's the context? Either they need to link back the conversation, or ideally copy and paste or screenshot part of that conversation, so we can kind of easily pick up very quickly that, you can kind of join in that conversation. Don't feel like left out, as it were. I have to go dig around, try and find it. And the other thing I look for that I find really important, again, I'd love to hear everyone's opinion, is I want to see how someone reviews someone else's project. So that's why I always encourage EddieHub members to review other people's pull requests, even if they're not maintainers on the project, but because that way I can just see how they review it, and how they give feedback. And I think it's really important. Because feedback, I think.
Yeah, and it's making sure people give feedback in a kind way. People give feedback in a meaningful way. You know what I mean? And they're not, So it's great. So this is all good stuff.
All great stuff. Okay, great questions. And people saying, thank you.
Do it, everybody. Anyone here should definitely be applying for these roles. And Laurel, in terms of like the feedback, I think it's different depending on the role as well. if you're looking at an engineering type role, and then you were sort of seeing somebody contributing to a project you knew about, you might dig in a bit more. But really what you're more interested in is what it is they're interested in. And I think there was one other question in here I saw about, it was from, I'm
this
sorry.
one? Is it from Jay?
Yeah, from Jay. About like how many. That's the wrong question, Jay. I'm not looking at volume. I'm looking at the fact at what communities you're interested in. And so if it's just one, that's fine. But like, what is that project? What sort of contributions have you been doing? Not like, have you like, touched 500 projects? I don't know. So does that make sense, Eddie?
Yeah, I really agree with that. It's definitely not the volume. It's the quality. By quality, I don't mean like the perfect React code or whatever it is. It's just how much value can be added, and value can be putting a comment on someone's issue. I mean, there's just it's so important. I think investing time in a project, getting familiar with it, collaborating with people on that project, I think adds so much value as well.
Yeah.
This is a really interesting question from Karuna, actually, and I've kind of touched on it just now, but I'm interested to know your thoughts on this, Martin.
Right.
And what kind of contributions are eye-catching in a resume?
It's the project and what type of project you were doing, what you contributed to. So, for instance, like I added once like 64-bit support for Windows to the Eclipse project. And awesome. that was like 18 bytes of code. Like it wasn't a massive contribution, but the fact that I had like made the effort to go do that tells me I'm interested in the Eclipse project and I'm passionate about it. I was trying to solve a problem with the Eclipse project and 64-bit Windows, and I was ahead of the curve on that. And then I managed to figure out that problem, submit it, and get it, accepted by a project that's like, has a lot of people working on it. Therefore, it was probably good code, and I've probably done quite a bit of work to get it accepted. So that kind of told the person hiring me a lot about that contribution, even though it was only 18 bytes and wasn't particularly, the best contributions are often the smallest. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's just true. It's interesting what you're interested in. You know what I mean?
That's very true. Lots of people saying thank you and thank you for the reassurance. So love that.
Yeah, do it.
With the ruler was meant to be a heart. Okay, no worries. Sounds good. And Carl, you're right. Thanks for shouting out Tom, also known as Schmelto, reviews literally everyone's projects. He's a machine, amazing. Yeah. So thank you so much for that. Hopefully people are making notes actually and sharing it on Twitter. Actually, just pull a face, Martin, and let people take a screenshot. They can share it on Twitter and tag us, and I will retweet some of the ones that have the best.
Let me need to do this way around. Tips. There we go.
Okay, here we go. Maybe I'll make us full screen.
Okay, there we are. Is that which way you're now? This way, right?
Okay, sorry. Yeah. Oh, I should point, shouldn't I? Like that.
You always point in yours. It's weird. There you go.
It's on our screen as well, but okay. Hopefully someone got that. And tag us, and I will reshare the ones with the best tips. Any notes that you've learned? I think that's awesome.
Jay's got one. Can we do Jay?
Where's Jay's on?
Do docs type contributions count as a good thing? Heck yeah. As long as it's not like typo fixes, but even typo fixes sometimes, to be honest, Jay. But heck yeah. Because the docs are the most important thing for anyone in like how they learn how to use a project, how they do it. So yes. Plus I hire, like I have like 30 docs people reporting to me. So docs contributions are very, very important. And I'll be hiring another, like 15 of them in the next year. So yes.
Nice. So yes, everyone, open source, stand out, get on Martin's radar, and you never know. Sabrina, awesome to have you here. Thanks for tuning in. I know it's really early for you. Glad you could join us. There's a question from Graham, just really quickly. Any projects that stood out for you and blew your mind? While you're having a think, I'm going to jump in. We did review a project. I can't remember the name, and it's my bad memory. But their README on their project was mind-blowing. And I've got it bookmarked somewhere because I actually want to use it as an idea. Everyone on that live stream, it must be going back about 6 months, was like, wow, what an amazing README. They explained there's a lot of story in this README, and they explained kind of why they chose the name, and it's just the way they did it. I'm not doing it justice. I want to dig it out and try and share it, tomorrow or something. But so I don't look at the stars or the forks as being, wow, that's a great project, because there are just documentation. I say just, there are documentation projects with loads of stars, and they add so much value, but they don't have code and so forth. And that's.
I'm gonna drop you like one that blew my mind, Eddie. I'll drop it in the private chat so you can.
Sure.
You can
I can even drop it in.
But this is a project that only has like 286 stars and 19 forks. You might think to yourself, wow, is that important? But it's a project which there's a group called Bellingcat who are investigative journalists, and this project was done, ahead of the outbreak in Ukraine, the war in Ukraine, and they managed to get open source data from a European satellite and use it to be able to track where military satellites are being broadcast. And I just couldn't believe that like somebody managed to pull that off with open source history and open source data, and then made it available as an open source project, made it available as a website, all that sort of thing. So and I have a physics degree, so this kind of stuff like interests me anyway, but like that just blew my mind and was just an amazing piece of work. So yeah,
nice.
A little bit serious, but there we go. So that was one that was recently that just absolutely blew my mind. And then and then I think, but the question was, what back to Graham's question again.
Oh, sorry. Yes.
Yeah. Well, first time we stumbled across it. Yeah, there's been all sorts of things though, from like people doing. I do lots of IoT crazy things. So
you do. Everyone do look at Martin's Twitter. A link's in the description below. About, didn't you do like a Raspberry Pi like grid tower thing running like?
Can we see?
I don't know.
Well,
let me make it bigger. 1 second.
Yeah. It's just plugged in at the minute, so I don't want to.
You don't want to yank it out. Okay.
There we go. Can you see that? That's like a Raspberry Pi cluster. It's because I want to teach myself how to. I needed to learn more about Kubernetes and Docker and stuff, and containers. So I built myself a hobby project to go do that, and I made it all open source because that's what you do, and that's this is how you learn and all that sort of stuff. So even when you're a manager and whatever, you still have to keep learning. So it's all good.
Absolutely, love that. Okay, so people saying thank you.
It's Martin Woodward is my just like it is on the screen there. That is my Twitter handle as well as my GitHub handle. So
yeah, I can drop it in the chat as well. It's in the description below, but I can drop it in the chat as well for people if it's easy.
Let's review some projects.
Let's do it. Okay.
This is like we always do, Eddie. We're too busy jibber jabbering. We're not doing any work.
That's true. I've got the next one ready.
Okay,
so let's go. There's a project. We finally got our first project to review.
And this is the person's profile we were just reviewing. So this is awesome.
It is. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so what are your first impressions? What do people
scroll down? Let's look at the README.
Straight to the README. Love it.
Let's have a quick look. This is good.
Table of contents, I think, is no longer needed because people will notice now that GitHub does that for us.
Nice. Look at you.
Save a bit of space. I better make some notes actually on this.
Yeah.
Table of contents not required as generated by GitHub. And by the way, everyone, don't forget you can raise issues and get green squares on these projects when we come up with these suggestions if you agree with them. So let me share that in the chat. And if people want to go raise some issues on that.
So some good things, Eddie. Should we do the good? And then if we get some action points, you can write them down. So it's got a code of conduct. It's got a license.
Oh, I know where you're looking. Inside community standards.
Oh no, I wasn't actually looking at that. I was. This is good. Yeah, it's got a code of, and this is kind of things I look at. Is it's got a good code of, it's got a code of conduct. It's got a license. I like it when people use the about box in that top corner and have a link to their project page.
Oh, yeah.
And the fact that they're using the categories as well, I think is a good thing. Like that to me, that's good. That looks nice. They're using releases, which again makes me happy because then I know they're going to have release notes. Contributors, it isn't just the one person. They have had some contributions and they've done all that sort of stuff. So this is all amazing. The only thing I'm seeing missing, and they are using actions. So the only thing I was seeing missing was like just the action status badge to tell me is the current CI build good?
Oh, that's a good point. I think we're missing that in the Eddie Hub project. So everyone, there's some issues and some green squares on about 10 projects for you on the Eddie Hub. Go.
Yeah, because they're running
badge.
Linter and they're running PyTest. So I would be very tempted to go look at their latest CI build, and the way you do that, there is a thing when you go look at the action if you're actually doing it, which gives you an SVG status badge. If you go into actions, Eddie, and then pick like what's the markdown lint or whatever it is you're doing.
Oh
that's
yes,
like
got you.
whatever it is that's the equivalent of your CI build for this thing. But yeah,
Create
if you do the
status
create status badge,
Got you.
and then that gives you like, you see that
Perfect.
markdown link passing, that tells you what the latest status of that build was, and it'll copy the markdown for you, and you can paste it into the README and stuff. So it's all good.
Perfect. Awesome. Okay, so we do that for our projects as well.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, but it looks really good, right? They've got these sections as well, which is
and it's got welcoming graphic, I think. So then the key thing again, what you want to know is, what does this thing do? Because you're always trying to, 99% of the people coming by your project are consuming, and they're just going to consume it and go away and never come back again. And that's fine. Like, that's perfectly acceptable. But nobody's going to contribute back to your project unless they're using it and get value from your project. You know what I mean? It's like a funnel. In fact, I'll drop you a link in a minute to my contribution funnel, which kind of lays this out. But so you need to get as many people using your project as possible to get anybody to give you back any time. And then when they give you time, you need to be welcoming to them so that they give you code, and then you can eventually help them, be a co-maintainer of the project. So so again, it's good. It's great. I think it's good. It shows you how to use it. I think this is a really, really good README. So
yeah, they've got how they use the code blocks as well. Oh, sorry, what was that?
I was just wondering if anybody else is seeing stuff. It looked like they're using projects a bit, which is good. They're using the old projects. It'd be good to look at the new beta for them.
Oh, on the project boards, yeah.
This looks pretty good to me.
Martin's racing ahead and looking at. So yeah, they got the project boards. A lot of things in done. Looks good. Last commit was a while ago though, and it's with a failed build, so maybe not so active anymore. But they were off to a great start. I think good examples and good docs, like you said. Yeah, I like it. Some thoughts on my side.
Yeah, go ahead.
I think I'm guessing the wiki is not used, which makes people. Oh, they are using it. I was going to say they're not using it to hide it.
I was going to do that one as well, but yeah.
Oh, great. Nice. I still prefer moving this to the docs folder in the project and go through pull requests, all that great stuff.
Yeah, me too, actually. So it sounds bad, but yeah, me too.
Yeah, but it's because you want that knowledge transfer and the reviews and all that great stuff we get with pull requests, and documentation should be just as important as automated testing and code. And all that
there's stuff we should do to improve that. Again, I'm thinking about how we could make it better, but you know what I mean. So
yeah. But no, you're right. It looks really good. I don't have that much kind of constructive criticism back. I think things like if packages is not being used, then maybe it should be hidden. Hide packages if not anything not being used, hide it, and people can bring it back later. Is my thoughts. Yeah, they've got issues open. They've got pull requests going through, so things are being done, which is great. Yeah, I think it looks really good. Oh, badge. We did say put CI badge. Yeah. Add build badge for action to README. Here we go.
Right, I'll go through while you're doing that.
You're racing ahead as well.
No, I'm just looking through the comments and things.
Oh, please do. Yeah, I saw some great comments, but didn't get a chance to bring them up yet.
Yeah.
If you can tell me which ones I have missed. Yeah, docs, really important. People saying thank you. Oh, and you've got a tweet. I will share that in the chat. Oh yeah, this is your contributor funnel. Interesting. Okay, I'm gonna leave that open because I'm gonna have a look at that later on as well.
You can bring it up in the window if you want before we move
even better. Great idea. Love that.
There we go. So this is if you click on the image and make that bigger, that'll do. But this is what I mean by when I was talking about the contribution funnel. This is what I was talking about. So if you think about open source contribution, most people coming in just consume. Again, that's how it works. That's fine. but it's only a subset of those people give you time, and it's usually a very small subset. And then a small subset of the people that give you time actually give you code, and then a small subset of those people will come on and be full-time maintainers. So the important thing to remember is that it's always a subset of these things, and so if they're not doing one, they're not going to do the other. So then you think, well, how can I maximize the number of people consuming? How can I increase? Because if I don't have bigger numbers at the top of my funnel, I'm never going to get people contributing code if they're not getting value from consuming. So how do you make it easy to consume? That's all the stuff we talked about here, about having good readmes, all that sort of stuff, good guidance, good tutorials, and then contributing time. When people do that, how do you be welcoming to them? So how do you be welcoming when they submit a pull request? How do you be welcoming with issues when they send documentation fixes, that sort of thing? And then finally, people generally do that before they move on to contributing code. So if you're welcoming and bring people in, then they're more likely to contribute code. And again, when they do, how easy have you made it for them to contribute code? Have you got a CI build running so that when they do a clone of the code, it actually compiles on their machine when they go make their change? You know, have you got instructions on prerequisites? Maybe do you have a code space set up so they can easily use dev containers or whatever? And then, you know, welcoming them. And then once people is contributing, do all the stuff you do to your community in terms of being welcoming and, you know, bring people in, because then they'll go through and to maintain. So yeah, that's the contribution funnel. That's how I think about things.
Love it. Okay, so we've got a profile again. I like the light, actually. I might have to do something similar. I do like the light. Okay.
I bet. View this in dark mode. I'm wondering if this is a profile that they've done themselves in dark mode, and it works better in dark mode. We'll find out, because that text looked quite light when you did it. Then
I'm gonna remind myself to go to dark mode again. Is it under settings?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, and then appearance, and then dark default. Yeah.
If I
Let's go.
Oh, it disappears.
Oh, weird. Okay, well, they messed that up. I can go figure out how they've done it. But yeah,
but that's really, really good. What do you call it? Good test.
It's a test. You should definitely test your profile in light and dark mode.
It's broken completely now.
Okay, well, maybe it just went weird.
Maybe it just went weird. I don't know. Yeah, people can have a look, do some tests, and raise some issues for them. I think would be useful. What are your thoughts on these trophies?
I mean, it's interesting. It's a bit busy. I preferred that first one that we looked at, to be honest. It's a bit busier than others. But again, it's, you know, it's like people's, you know, it's people's styles, isn't it, and all that sort of stuff. So it's fine. There's a broken image on the connect with me for me.
Connect with me. Where is that? Oh yes, the one above LinkedIn badges and so forth.
There's a lot of and again, there's a lot of stuff, and it's hard to get. Like, it's great that you've got links to EduHub. It's great if you get links to the LinkedIn and things. I think it's awesome.
I don't think it's EduHub. I think it's EduHub. They kind of.
Oh, okay. There we go. There's a similar name, even worse.
And
so,
and they've used a lot of our words as well.
Yeah, it's quite hard to read, Sarita, because with it being like center aligned rather than left aligned and things. So it's cool. There's a lot of stuff there. I'm glad this person's experimenting with readmes. Like, awesome. Just a bit hard to read and a bit too busy for me. What do you think?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's quite long. For me, it's stopping me from getting. It's good to have. It's finding a balance, right? I want to see the popular repositories. I don't recommend maybe pinning 6. I think 4 is a good number, and I want to kind of come down to the this bit and see their activity. But it's taken, I don't know, 5 or so pages to get down here. Maybe they can, for example, with these widgets, they could maybe have them collapsed by default, or have them left and right aligned, so 50% on each side. Again, another A+. Yeah, I think we all go through that phase. We all start off with a very small README, and then we kind of build it up bigger and bigger and bigger, and then it gets really big, and then we probably start like chopping it down a bit and going, actually, you know what? What's the most important things that I want to show?
Exactly, like the text they've got there with what they're working on, link to the portfolio, link to Twitter and LinkedIn and socials and things like they're the important things to me. some languages and tools and stuff. But no, it's fine. They're using it to experiment, which is, I take away from that, this is someone who's experimenting and testing and learning. So that's good. But it does definitely get in the way a little bit of me finding the information they want to convey. So
exactly. Just a question from Jay, hopefully I'm pronouncing the name right.
Yeah.
It's, can we get a sample README file to make ours? Well, funny enough, I do have a free course on how to customize your GitHub, doing Markdown, basic GitHub actions. It's video and text content. And this is what we'll show you. So do have a look. I'll drop this link in the chat. It's completely free. And it gives you examples of some repos. And I refresh that like every 3 months to get some examples of people's projects. And I refresh that and cycle them and so forth. So yeah. Anything missing, let me know. More than happy to update it. I got some more free courses coming out soon as well. Just working on those too.
Yeah. Hey, Ayush had a question earlier on while we were chatting about labels. And Ayush was saying, how do you think one should label issues? Because that's the most confusing part for them. And can you please explain the most important part about labels? Eddie, do you have opinions on labels?
I really do. I have some strong opinions. I don't know if that's good or bad.
Do it. Let's have a rant on labels.
Let's do it. Okay, Ayush, who was contributing on the previous live streams, thank you so much. I actually released a video, I think, last week about issues, but focusing on a particular type of label. So on points label. So I think labels are super important. And I think people sometimes maybe confuse what the label means. So people put good first issue and help wanted. And I think they're like completely different. As an example, I think if you want help, that's great. But it's not a good first issue because someone's probably going to want your help on it. So I think they're very separate. So, and if you want people to discover your projects, they usually search on GitHub right at the top on issues. So you need to have an issue, and they usually filter by label as well. So up here, I usually kind of filter via a label, and you can see from my history, good first issue, Python, or whatever it is. So I think it is really important to have those. I've also started doing something. I don't know if I can throw a question back at you on the whole label subject. Right. On the EddieHub project, we do use projects, I should say. So if I just pick Linktree, which is an open source version to Linktree, we have labels that use the open source standards. So we try to standardize this. And there's an open source like standards, and we try to use that.
Right.
Might not be perfect, but I think it's consistent across lots of projects. But the labels I want to focus on are these points. And what we try to do is, yes, I agree. I know people are probably going to be shouting at the screen and saying, Eddie, but one point to me is different to somebody else. That's completely true. But the benefit I see is kind of story points is someone doesn't know what 1 point is. I get that. But they do know that 1 point is going to be easier than 3 points. So when they're looking at good first issue, there could be like a good first issue with 1 point, good first issue with 2 point, and they might want the easier one or the harder one. I was actually chatting with Mikkel, who's in the chat, about this recently on Twitter. So I'd love to hear everyone's thoughts and your thoughts, Martin. On that.
So there's a few things here. I like, this is an interesting, so you're using Fibonacci series when it comes to doing your story points, which is nice. And so for people who don't know, it means that like you can't like double one, if you were to, you know what I mean? You can't sort of, it gives you a nice balance of the things when you're doing them, and it allows you to kind of know, is it big or heavy? And it also means that the accuracy of your points gets less the bigger the thing is. And that reflects quite what happens in planning is, it's big, but once it gets really big, you're not quite sure, you know what I mean? Like the jumps between them get bigger in the Fibonacci series, which is why we quite often use it for planning there. So that's good. Using labels for this is definitely good, and it allows you to go grab the easy ones and allows you to find it. We're actually doing some stuff within projects to kind of, manage kind of story points outside of the raw issue and allow the issue to focus on the data itself. So, but what that does allow you to do is easily show up there, what the priorities are and what the story points are. So,
nice.
Yeah. So it's okay. It's good. I think what would be interesting would be to use a points add to that board there now. So add a new column into there, we'll probably not save this, but anyway, you know, like, and so maybe add a new field.
Okay.
Of
Well, I haven't done
look
this.
at you know what I mean? And then you could actually do like you could do a number,
We
or you could
see.
even do a single select and type your Fibonacci sequence in if you wanted to lock it that way, and do like
Right.
points as a field there. And then it wouldn't clutter up your labels too much, because
That's
how often do
interesting.
labels are the most useful when you filter by something.
Yes.
And if you're not filtering by give me all the easy story point issues often, then maybe it doesn't need to be a label. Maybe you can use it as a field here, and then you're still storing that data. It's still available, but it's not as prominent as a label. But we only ever had labels until like last week. You know what I mean? And so it's perfectly fine to be using that for this.
I did not know about this. This is definitely
Similarly
new. We've
with,
got so many new features coming out.
Yeah. And then we've just shipped an action that'll actually, you know, you've got your project board here. We've just got an action that will put stuff into your project board and move stuff around on your project board. I'll dig a link out to it once. Well,
is that with the with these, or is that an action itself?
It's an action itself, and it'll mean that so when an issue gets created, you can make it so if an issue gets created and it's got a certain, then apply a label to it, like needs triage, or put it into your board in a certain place of kind of needs triage and all this sort of stuff. And so, yeah, I'll find this issue. I'll find this action for you in a second.
Yeah, that'd be great. I'm loving all the chat, everyone. Really, really loving it. Trying to keep up. Apparently, there's a bit of an echo when I talk.
This is me and Eddie when we get together. Everybody,
yeah, geeking out.
Apologies.
Absolutely. Hopefully the echo isn't too bad. If not, I'm sure Martin won't mind putting on some headphones.
I'll put some headphones on. I didn't realize
I can't hear it. But people are saying there is an echo, and sometimes it gets
fix it right now.
Okay, loving this. So lots of and you know, Mikhail's right. You know, interpretation and subjective is all very, very, you know, different. And that's why I think story points is kind of good. It's not perfect, but it's better than time. I really don't like.
Yeah, 100%. And you agree over time. You kind of learn what your story points are. You know what you kind of get to a balance of what story points mean.
Exactly. And Emma's coming up with some awesome suggestions as always.
There we go. Your echo should be gone now. So apologies to the people.
No worries. Hopefully that's gone, everyone. It sounds fine. Sounds good to me. But yeah, I think we need to definitely improve some more documentation at GitHub. We've got pretty good documentation, but it's always improvements to be made. I'm conscious of time. I think after this one, we should maybe pick some from the chat as well. So everyone, if you do want your GitHub profile reviewed by Martin or your GitHub project, then put your issue number, just the number. Don't put the link because YouTube will remove it. Just put the issue number. I can find it, and we can bring yours up and give it a shout out and a review as well. And we'll catch up on a bit on the chat as well. Mikhail always has some awesome suggestions on the skill set. Yeah, maybe some labels. What are your thoughts on this, Martin? Sticking on the subject of labels. What about labels with what skills are required? I think again, Mikhail mentioned this on Twitter. So if it needs React, or it needs, you know, MySQL or Mongo or whatever it is. Again, it clutters up the labels, but then
but I think that's not a bad thing, because you would then it's easy to filter. Give me the good first issues for whatever front end or something like that, you know, or when you go look at a project. So you got to remember what labels are used for, and filtering is usually. And I'm glad I stopped your echo. Sorry about that, everybody.
Awesome. Yes, that's good. If we make it as clear as possible. So I think that's really, really important. So lots of green squares for people and contributions to make. Okay, so Praduma is fast, and let's bring that up. So that is number 3812. 3812. Let's have a look what we've got. GitHub profile. And Praduma's been doing an amazing 2 weeks or 15 days of open source on Twitter, with every day doing amazing Twitter threads. Everyone go check out Praduma on.
See, this is beautiful. Look, you see, we can get straight to the information, Praduma. This is lovely to see. You've got your Twitter link there, dude. This is pretty good.
I'm going to share the link to it in the chat so people can go follow you on Twitter. Yeah, got the badges again, but it's one line. So for me, that's good. I think even if I don't like something, if it's one line, then it doesn't
Mm-hmm.
matter. I'm not saying I don't like it, but it's not like loads of it. Latest blog posts. Is that with a GitHub action, Praduma, or is that you manually do those? And the badges, the widgets are minimized. Yeah, that's really good. It's quite, it's obviously not perfectly spread out, but it's pretty good. It's probably one of the better ones we've seen today as well.
Yeah, definitely.
So it does.
Praduma, would you do me a favor? Do me one thing this weekend. Take a day off. Because I'm looking at your contribution graph. It's all green. You hereby have my permission to take.
And in addition to this, Praduma is mentoring people on the MLH Hackathon this week and so many other things. So yeah, doing so many amazing things. But yes, I second what Martin's saying. Take a day off and actually definitely do it. And okay, here's the GitHub action. Okay, let me have a look.
Nice. I was just going into his repo now to find the action. There we go. Yeah, docs, workflows. Oh, that's the action. That's the action that adds to the project. Sorry. Yeah. No, I was just looking at his jobs to update his blogs. Praduma is using a workflow to update his blogs. He's doing that every 24 hours. Now, I'm going to give you some tips about doing cron jobs in a minute. And goes grab stuff from Hashnode. Cool. That's pretty nifty. How's
this, Martin? What do you think of the ticker along the bottom?
Oh, look at that. There we go.
I should say, Martin says, Praduma take a break this weekend.
Yeah. Nice. This is great. Okay. Do you wanna? I'm going to give you a link here to the. I'll drop it in the private chat, and then you can go straight to the page. This is the action that's running, that's updating that README that Praduma's got. So, and everybody can see this because actions are open source, so you can go look at stuff.
Amazing.
So there we go. So that's now you see this. You see how it's doing it every day at midnight. If you randomize that a bit, your life's going to be a bit better. But because everybody does it at midnight, and so what actually ends up happening is actions gets incredibly busy at midnight every night. And so what ends up happening is for people's cron jobs, it automatically never runs them at midnight. If we go look at actions to see when this actually ran, you'll notice it runs at different times, because what it'll do is it'll take that thing and it says, well, this is probably just a cron job that somebody's got because they want it once a day, so we'll do it whenever we're free. And so it kind of moves them around a bit anyway. So just stick it at a different time. Do you want it at midnight, or do you want it midnight UTC, or do you want it midnight in India? Do you want it like 1 a.m. in India?
Got you.
So and so that's one thing. And then if you actually edit, it won't work this for you because you're not maintaining on this repo. But if you go into the edit access, there's a nice little cron helper when you go edit stuff. So that's cool.
Oh, really? Okay, that's cool. Yeah, I'll have to.
Make fork and all that sort of stuff. So there's no point. But and I do like action steps that use emoji. I know that's probably controversial, but I just think when you go look at if you go up to actions and go actually look in this one's
some of them have come up. The
blog updater, and then if you click in like the blog updater thing there,
right,
and then look in the update blogs, that bit there.
Oh, we see.
I like that.
I never thought about that. Yeah, that's true. And later on, when you get familiar with an action, if anything fails, you're familiar with the icons. You can kind of quickly see kind of what went wrong, which is good. And I always was against it, but I think I'm convinced.
I think it's because you're old, Eddie. I think the kids are into emojis nowadays.
That's true. I can't even say the word. That's how old I am. Yeah, I say icons because I can't say.
Yeah, Emma likes emoji, so I'm on Team Emma.
Nice. And the random cron hint is, I think, really good. I didn't even think about that. I think that's great.
Yeah,
love that. Okay, who else is up next? Let's pick another one. There's usually like loads in the chat, so being a bit quiet. Everyone's a bit shy and nervous. Martin's really friendly, as you can all see. So don't worry about
Actually, no. Let's spice this up a little bit, Eddie. How about
Okay,
this?
go
I'm going
on.
to give you a coupon to the GitHub store for the like. We're going to vote on it, or we'll do something.
Okay.
We'll pick one person out of people who submit their stuff in this live session, and we'll give them a
Okay.
coupon to the GitHub store to go get some GitHub swag. How about that?
Awesome. Okay, sounds good. Love that, Martin. Thank you so much.
Yeah, there we go.
That is awesome.
I'll bribe people, hey?
Okay, sounds good. So we've had Purduma, so I need to add Purduma to the list. What's it called? It's the wheel of something, wheel of names. So we've got Purduma first.
I've never seen this. This is fabulous.
Oh, this is great, yeah. So if I add, I mean, this is an example, Eddie and Martin, obviously we're not going to be on there. You click to spin it, and then it will pick a winner.
Oh, this is my new favorite thing.
It's really, and it's picked me, and it's going to say I'm win. Obviously, I'm not gonna win, but then
Yeah, you're going to get yet more GitHub swag. That's just what Eddie needs.
Yeah. So perfect. Okay, we'll come back to that shortly. Who else have we got? So we've got I think this was the next one.
Nimal's got one, yeah, 3815.
3815. If I close this one, close that one. 3815. Okay. Look. Nice. I like the picture. I think it, again, with Produma's picture, it's semi-professional, but still fun. Like it still shows a bit of personality, rather than being, mine's probably a bit boring and corporate, so I should probably change mine, but I really like it.
And it's from this century as well, which is good.
That's true.
Yeah. It's good. We got a link to the GitHub pages. Nice.
Twitter. Some organizations. I think that's great.
Yeah.
Eddie Hub, of course. That's super great.
Yeah.
For me, maybe a bit too much animated stuff. I don't know what you think.
Yeah, I mean, does it add value? I mean, it looks cool, but is it adding any value, Nimal, to what people are doing? You've got but I'll give you this. All the important stuff's up the top. You know what I mean? Like what you're learning, what you're into, you're getting into Java, you're getting into your data structures. And as much as I hate the fact that it is, if you want to do an engineering job, then data structures and algorithms are something you're going to need to do to get through those coding interviews and things at some of them. But I've never, ever successfully passed a coding interview. I'll have you know, and I'm doing okay in my career. And that's a true story. I've never, ever passed a coding interview. So
really interesting story, interesting fact.
Yeah, I don't do them for the DevRel side. We don't do them here either. What we do instead, the take-home exercise for DevRel is to do a presentation to the team on a technical topic of your choice.
Love that.
Yeah, because it's like I don't care if you can, like if you do an algorithm from scratch, like I don't. That's no good to me because like I don't want you doing that. I want you to use an open source project that implements that library. So it's all good.
Interesting thought. Again, this is really just off the cuff. Do you, again, you might not have capacity to do this, but do you or your team get people from the community to come and maybe and give talks and stuff like that?
Yeah, we do. You've done talks for us. You've done videos for us.
No, I've done videos and talks for you. No, I meant kind of just like anyone from the community, can they submit a talk? Do you have like any CFPs like that?
We do for like conferences and that sort of thing. Yeah, definitely. So
everyone goes keep an eye on that and submit your
we've got
talks.
GitHub Universe will be coming up fairly soon as well.
That's true.
Was it Emma was saying about their project? Was it not Emma? Sorry, who was saying about their profile being super basic? It was Emma Dawson. Emma, I swear your profile is less boring and basic than mine is. How about that?
Let me bring it up. Let me add before I forget.
Oh yeah.
Add the people. I haven't missed anyone, have I? I think it was just Purduma was first, right?
Yeah, that's right.
So we're giving some thoughts. I'll just check the green square. So it's 95% commit, 5% issues.
Yeah,
I would try and balance that out a little bit more. Normal.
And again, this person had a break last year, perfectly fine. That's all good. This is obviously doing something, but they were busy before. Yeah. A little bit over animated is what we were saying.
Yeah.
And then the stuff that they're contributing to, again, this sounds bad. I usually, if I see contributions to just you, I've how do I phrase it? I'm more impressed by contributions to other people's projects than contributions to your own. When I'm looking down your activity feed, like I want to see stuff that's contributing to your own. But if I see you contributing to other people's stuff, then I'm like, okay, this person's like committing, contributing a bunch of stuff. So there's the learning in the open commits versus the committing to an open source project kind of thing. So, which is cool.
That's true. Tom's made a suggestion. Can Martin review one of our projects? So yeah, link free is a good idea. We will see if we've got time for that. But in the meantime, I want to bring up Emma because Emma is one of our
this is beautiful.
And
no, put mine up, Eddie. Put mine up, and we'll compare side by side Emma's and mine, and we'll see whose is better. And Emma's is better. I'll tell you that right now. Okay, here we go, everybody. Review mine. What's wrong with mine?
Oh, I like this camera setup. That's really good. I should do something for my setup as well.
Yeah, did you know you can pin gists? You don't have to just pin repos, you can pin gists. So yeah, so you can sort of see, there we go. It's fairly boring. I've got I'm a GitHub sponsor. I use sponsors. I've sponsored people. I was in the Arctic Code Vault. I'm in a few orgs like the Microsoft org and stuff like that because I set that up so they don't kick me out of that, which is nice. I've got my location set. We mentioned earlier on setting your location is pretty cool. Oh, I should take my Twitter link out. I'm going to go fix that. Because in the old days you didn't used to be able to have a Twitter link. We added that fairly recently, and so that's why I've got two there. I need to clean that up. Isn't that interesting?
But I think you also need to.
I need to customize my profile. Is what I need to do.
Definitely.
I'm going to do that before I come on the next time. So yeah, Emma. And look at Emma. See, Emma's is better than mine.
It looks great.
I'm sorry, Emma. We might have a winner already, I'm afraid. But that is pretty spot on. You know what I mean?
I think it's really good. Oh, made it a bit too small. Sorry, 1 second. Yeah, I think it's really good.
Yeah, it's clean. It's got the information you need, but you haven't got too much information. There's color in there. It's got a link to your profiles. It's got a link to the projects. Mongo, yeah, dude, I'm struggling to find anything to improve on here. You've got some gaps in your profile. This is good. And it is, and there's a balance, look, Eddie, is a balance between code review, issues, and commits.
Yeah, it's nicely balanced as well.
Yeah.
Emma's one of our maintainers and mods on the Eddie Hub.
All right, well, there we go then.
And part of the organization. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is really good.
I'm not going to add Martin to the list, but I've added Emma as well.
There we go. Cool. Well, you got to say Emma Dawson because we've got multiple Emmas in chat right now.
True. Actually, I should add the surnames because I will otherwise later on go, who is this person? I need to contact them. So exactly. Let me add that. There we go. Perfect.
Right, I'm going to go for chats while you're doing that.
Yeah,
good or bad if someone is in many organizations, Tom? Doesn't matter to me, to be honest. Yeah, doesn't matter. It's nice to see some in there, but I'm in too many. So, but that just messes it up for me because I see whenever I connect something to GitHub and then I see like a million projects in there, it's a nightmare. But yeah, it doesn't matter. So neither good nor bad. Yeah, no README. Yeah, Jay's giving me a hard time. I completely agree, Jay. Eddie was being polite with me, but yep. Yeah, it's Carl was saying there, but this was about Emma's profile, but not needing to scroll. You've got all the information you need. It's great. You know what I mean? This is good. So yeah.
People are loving the feedback. Okay, I've in fairness, I always review other people's. I'm critical, hopefully supportive as well. But I think it's time for you all to kind of maybe spend a few minutes on mine. This animated GIF, it was created.
Hey, we're making ourselves vulnerable today. This is good. This is nice.
Authentic. Love it.
Yeah.
I don't like this picture of me at the top. I got red on my face. I can't remember why. I think I had an allergic reaction to gluten that day. But wearing GitHub t-shirts, I do like that part of it. But let me know what you think of my GitHub, everyone. Feedback. Be honest. Be brutal. Keep it raw. You're quiet, Martin. I'm a bit worried.
No. I'm just going down. I'm just looking through. And that's just this is good. The So the latest YouTube videos, are you doing that with an Action, Eddie, or what are you doing?
That is with a GitHub Action. I've actually made a YouTube video, a bit of inception there. I made a YouTube video on how I did that.
Nice.
So yes, that's with a GitHub Action.
How
The
many
testimonials
organizations
aren't.
are you in?
Oh, these are ones I created over the years. So if I did it in private browsing, most of them are hidden.
Oh, okay,
so
got it.
No, I haven't cleaned them
I'll
up.
go
I should
look at
probably,
yours publicly. There we go. Let me do that.
and it should only be, I think, one line or something.
Yeah.
I should probably delete these. I don't know why they got created.
Well, you know, they don't cost you anything.
Yeah. Like the hackathons that I've been to over the years, or hackathons that I've run, I've created organizations so everyone could put their projects in there.
There's just one line of them when you go look at it publicly, so it's a lot neater then. It's nice to see you sponsoring people. That's always good to see, as well as being, you know, you are giving back as well as getting from the sponsors community, which is nice. I quite like the testimonials there, actually. I know I recognize, mostly because I recognize some of the people that are doing that. But yeah.
I have quite a few, actually. I think I have a GitHub discussion where people can submit testimonials, and
that's nice.
I do cycle them manually, but I'm actually thinking maybe we need a GitHub Action where I can it can read from maybe the discussion.
You know what you should do? Random. You should use a label and then label the ones you have featured. And then you can, and then if it's got a label of featured on it, then it'll put it in. That's actually what we do with the stars. So the stars are in a big board, and then we label the stars that we want featured, and then they get featured on stars.github.com. So, and we can change them easily. So there you go.
I love that. I've just put my link to my profile. Can someone raise an issue with that idea? Because I absolutely love that. That's just brilliant. And you get a green square for raising the issue too.
Yeah.
All code reviews are massively high. Pull requests are low. I need to work on my pull requests. Right.
Yeah. You've been letting the community do your work for you.
No, it's true.
Just enjoying the sun in Bali. Look at the state here. You caught the sun today as well. So.
I did catch the sun today. My laptop wasn't too happy about it. I wasn't doing very much on my laptop, and I could hear the fan.
It's the glare off the laptop. It's because you were focusing so hard on the screen. It bounces back all the UV light. That's what it is.
That's what it is.
Yeah. Do organizations matter when you apply for a company and they check your GitHub profile, Jay? No, they do not. Short answer. It's nice. It's interesting to see, but no, they don't at all. So, in my opinion. Now, I'll tell you what's fascinating though. So, I worked on the Microsoft org and stuff and the .NET team for a while, and we've got a bot on the .NET team called .NET Bot. And .NET Bot is bring up .NET -bot as the profile, Eddie, on the screen if you've got time.
Yeah, we've got time. .NET -bot.
Yeah.
The org or the repo?
It's a user, so that'll work.
Oh, it's a user. Okay.
Yeah, there you go. So this is a bot that lives in, this is .NET Bot, and .NET Bot does stuff and helps us. Like it when you're trying to merge stuff, it'll do CLI stuff. It's chat ops as well as a bunch of other things and pull request agent and all that sort of stuff. So it's a bot that helps the team. And so we have that there. But if you notice, .NET Bot's contribution graph is like bonkers because it's really loads of contributions, some really busy ones, and it's contributing to like .NET is definitely in the top 100 open source projects in the world. You know what I mean? So it's making merges into one of the top projects ever. So if you've written code which is looking for people, if you've written a bot which is looking for people making lots of contributions, .NET Bot actually scores quite highly. And so I get the email that gets sent to .NET Bot, and you would not believe the number of job offers .NET Bot gets on an average day, just from people and it's written by bots are giving .NET Bot job offers. So now the robots are giving other robots jobs. That's like Inception. We're all doomed, Yeah,
Skynet is coming.
Yeah, exactly. They're giving each other jobs. It's a nightmare.
Here's a question from Laurel.
I
just saw, which I think is quite good. So if you have a GitHub org that houses your Git repos, would you essentially use that as one of your personal profiles, or should you also have a personal profile that you continue to build out?
Laurel, I think we've decided from go look at mine back. Have you got mine as another tab there?
No, but I can reopen it.
Yeah. We've decided you should build up your own personal one because there's a different from brand Laurel and then you. So like, if you look at me, I don't have a profile there. It's pretty boring. Now to be fair, I'm not currently looking for a job, so that's fine. But it's not great. But if you look at my organizations, like I've got, Microsoft and GitHub and stuff like that, it's some pretty cool orgs. And then I'm obviously doing work from a contribution graph. I'm not completely, boring and middle manager. So I would go and I would use your own personal profile for brand new, and then your orgs and stuff are for the other things. Does that make sense, Eddie?
Yeah, I think so. And there's a lot of overlap because I think when someone contributes to their organization or someone else's organization's repos, it appears in their profile so people can follow it through.
Yeah,
and
it shows up in your
versa.
contribution activity. Yeah.
And vice versa. Yeah, exactly. When you contribute to those repos and you appear on the right-hand side of those repos, then people can find you from those repos and organizations to go back the other way. I mean, if I quickly bring up my profile very quickly. So a lot of the followers I get is because I've contributed to other people's projects and they just discover my profile and decide to follow me. So if I scroll down, you can see the projects that I've contributed through to. Okay, a lot of them are Eddie Hub now. And then if I went to an organization, if I pick Eddie Hub, for example, then and I pick a repo like support, again, people can find me from the contributors and find other people as well, and vice versa. So, I mean, like even my video editor is contributing to our projects of translations and so forth. Nice. So, yes, as I always say, open source is for everybody. You don't have to be a coder. So
even my lawyers use open, send pull requests and things, which is cool. So Laurel's asking a question again: would you contribute to your org repo from your personal profile? I think it's trying to explain that a bit, Laurel. So the org profiles are just kind of like another collection of Git repos. So you can create an org that you use, but you're only creating an org really when you're working in a team and when you're having lots of people in there. You wouldn't go create like a personal org on top of your profile. They show up in the same namespace as you. So you log in. I log in as me, Martin Woodward, when I want to contribute to the GitHub org or the .NET org or something like that. Like I'm doing it from me, and so it shows up in my personal profile, as Eddie was just saying there. But what it doesn't do is it doesn't it's not part of my profile page in terms of the readmes and things like that. I've explained that really badly, but anyway, hopefully that made sense, Laurel.
If not, Laurel, let us know, and we can always chat in Discord afterwards or over the weekend and clarify that. And I'm sure it'll help other people as well. But I think you explained it really well, Martin. Okay. How many people do we have on our list? We only have 3, right?
Come on. We need some more profiles to review. We need some more projects to review that you've got a project. And remember, we're going to give away some GitHub swag to one person who does this at random.
Exactly. So, at the moment, it's like 1 in 3 chance of winning. So let's maybe make it like 1 in 4, 1 in 5.
Yeah.
So let's see anyone else. If not, I'll pick some people. As Mikhail corrected me on a Twitter space, I won't pick on someone. Maybe I can't remember the expression you told me to replace it with, but it was really well said. I'll choose someone else. So I think some people are too modest. So Schmelto to Tom in the chat, as mentioned, everyone said does so many things, reviewing, giving back to other people's projects.
Wow, look at this. This is beautiful.
This is really good. And every time I look at Tom's profile, I ask, what is this? Is it a Bitcoin address? Is it? And I can't remember what it was. I think it's like an MD5 of their name or something. Let me know, Tom, in the chat. But I like this. I do like a bit of code.
Maybe figuring it out is part of the problem. Maybe could put Schmelter. I'm sorry. I'm gonna figure that out myself. While so it looks like a hash, is what it looks like. But yeah.
And look at those code reviews. See, that's from all the reviews. Like Tom is there always reviewing other people.
But yeah, there are some gaps as well.
Nice.
Good man, Tom. I like to see somebody who takes a day off every now and then. This profile is beautiful. I actually like the fact you're using the code at the top.
That's pretty cool, right?
Can I show you a thing about these code blocks as well, Eddie? If you move, see the little copy thing, isn't that beautiful? We had it.
That came out like a couple of months, quite recently, right?
It saves so much time. It does. Fantastic.
It is really good. I mean, that is, and it goes back to what we were saying, right? It doesn't have to be. I bet you that wasn't a lot of code to implement, but it just added so much value to so many people. So pull requests and contributions don't have to be huge. They just need to add value.
Yeah.
I saw Twitter go crazy when that came out. Like everyone was like, "Yeah, amazing." That was really good. Okay, I'm gonna add Tom.
Tom, this is fabulous. You can. So you've got. Here we go. Here's the one. I might have one piece of feedback.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Where's the
Right,
spotted?
Tom. So your portfolio, your portfolio website is on the portfolio thing there, shmelto.github.io/portfolio.
Oh,
If
here.
you rename the current repo you've got called portfolio, if you rename that to Schmelto, or if you take the contents of that thing and put it in a different branch in Schmelto, you can then host your GitHub Pages site on the same repo that you've got your customized profile in. So you could do that. Alternatively, you could do what we talked about earlier and go grab yourself your own domain, and then you could run that portfolio site on your own custom CNAME, on your own custom domain name, and that would be mwah. So if you went and got schmelto.com or whatever it is, schmelto.io, and then had that running on there, that would be beautiful. So yeah, this is awesome. If you need any help with that, Tom, getting that running, so having GitHub Pages and your customized README going on your profile, if you need any help with that and you're struggling, just give me a shout, DM me on Twitter, and I'll give you a hand.
Martin, you broke my cardinal rule.
Sorry, what's that? Doing things not in public?
Yeah, because DMs, you help Tom and that'd be great, and Tom will help other people, absolutely.
Okay, right.
But there's
we'll
so many other people. If it's in public, then other people can
we can
learn
fix it
from the
now if you want to
conversation.
fix it. We'll do it on a stream. We'll do it on any next stream. How about that?
Sounds good. But yeah,
Okay,
definitely
there
in
we
public. Tom knows this well. Any question, do ask Martin. I love that, Martin.
Yeah, there we go.
Ask in public, please, in Discord or in Slack or something.
That'll do.
Okay.
Produma's got one. Moving on.
We've already added Produma.
Oh, okay. No, is this...
You want to do a second one? Let's try and do somebody else. Produma, I know your projects are awesome.
Yeah.
Let's try and get somebody else. Emma. Yes. Another. Okay. 3816. Almost closed the wrong tab. That would have been scary. Where's this one? 3816. Hey, profile. Let's have a look.
Oh, somebody who likes what's that card thing? The card game. I forgot what that card game is. There's a Lee Riley who works with, loves a card. I'm trying to remember what it's called now.
Oh, is that when you were kids, like Top Trumps or something? Was it?
It is a bit like Top Trumps, yeah, but no, there's different card games and stuff.
Oh,
this is good. You know what I like? I know this is going to sound really weird. I really like, Emma, that you've matched the colors used in your badges with your profile image colors. That's like some top level design going on right there.
It is very, very good. Badges and this widget and the profile picture is all matched. Really, really good.
All my family from Manchester too, so she's already doing well here.
Yeah, really good. The colors matching, I think, is really good.
That's a bit. That shows you to me, that shows me you're a natural front end dev as well. I know you're saying you're a junior technical consultant, but that shows me you're a natural at this. The fact that you've just done that is just brilliant.
And learning React or relearning React and TypeScript. TypeScript is amazing. We do use a lot of JavaScript in GitHub projects because I think TypeScript scares off some people, so we started using it less.
Right, yeah.
But I do love TypeScript so much.
Well, that's nice. Did I tell you about that? I've ever told you a story. I thought TypeScript was going to fail.
Oh, really?
So it was... I mean, I should learn a lesson. So Anders Halsberg comes to me in a meeting with a woman called Amanda. Oh my goodness, why am I blanking on the name? Amanda Silver. Anyway, and they come and they were like, "Hey, we want to open source this thing called TypeScript. It's going to be like our own kind of." And they tell me about TypeScript, and I'm kind of listening. And I'm like, and I was running the open source stuff for Microsoft at the time, so I was like, God. And I remember coming away from the meeting thinking, well, I'm going to help them because I want to help, but they've got their own JavaScript thing. Like, that's never going to take off. This is Microsoft. Like, that's never going to work. Like, the JavaScript community hate them. And turns out it was good and useful. And strongly typed is actually helpful when you're doing big code in JavaScript. So shows you what I know.
But what we think on one day, I think really can change like a few days later or months later or whatever it is. So
and I always use that. I always tell myself that story as well, that your gut feel might be wrong. And so no matter how smart you think you are, and whatever, you are probably wrong. And so give people a chance, like help them anyway, even if you're not completely convinced, and see how it goes, and then be proven wrong, so it's all good. So there's that. And I also think there is, I've worked with a number of devs. I remember one particular one very early in my career who was like, Devon was doing terrible, and everyone didn't want to work with them, and like it was a nightmare. And then the very next project, they were just amazing in the rock star of the project. And I don't know what changed, other than I don't know what changed, but they went from one thing to another. And I'm like, okay, never anyone can be a high performer. Anyone can be a rock star. Everyone's got it in you, and it oftentimes I think it depends on, is the project aligning with stuff that you're interested in, and what you're doing is the work I've got aligning. So everyone can be a rock star, in my opinion. Anyway.
Love that. I think it's such a
Emma, this is brilliant. I love this one. I think we were talking earlier. I think the GitHub activity one, Eddie, is a bit like, as I say, it's good that you're using actions. And I like the fact you used actions to teach. I like the fact you taught yourself actions by using that, but you maybe don't need it. Or maybe you could put it in a little foldy, a little collapsible section, and then that was...
Oh, that's true. That's true. You get the benefits of both, right? It's there. It shows you know how to use actions and so on. Like that. So we've come up to about an hour and a half. Are we ready to do the giveaway?
Let's do the giveaway.
Okay, let's do it. So we need a bit of a drum roll. I don't have any sound effects. I couldn't bring that kit with me. So let's go. Let's spin it. It's going. Who's going to get it?
Boom.
Awesome.
We have a winner. Do you know how to get in contact with Produma?
Yeah, I do.
Awesome.
I do.
I will send you, Produma, I will send you a coupon for $100 in the GitHub store. So you'll be able to go to the GitHub store and order yourself a hoodie or whatever.
Nice
something decent.
Swag and so forth.
Yeah. There we go. Well done. This is great. Thanks for having me, Eddie. I really appreciate it.
No, I really, really appreciate you coming on and taking the time. I know you're busy, and it's great to geek out with you again after such a long time. Everyone, don't forget to go follow Martin on Twitter. I've just brought up their Twitter in the background, putting it in the chat, and is in the description below. And everyone's saying congratulations to Produma. Love that.
And thanks to everybody who put themselves out there today as well. And you know what I mean? It takes some bravery to have people come in and sort of give feedback and stuff. So thanks very much. I really appreciate that.
Awesome. Some people saying get 500,000 stickers
and then give them out. Do what Eddie does. Eddie just gets stickers and then gives them to everybody.
Because GitHub sends me so many. And I was at a co-working space yesterday, and there was some kids looking at my their parents were working their laptops, and the kids were looking and pointing at my stickers. I was like to the parents, I can give them some stickers. So maybe some coders, young coders coming soon as well. So it's I love giving out stickers too. It's such an icebreaker for people at the airport or at a co-working space and so forth. So yeah, really good.
No, you can't use my power socket, but I'll give you some stickers instead. So.
Can't use my power bank either.
Yeah.
So love that. Thank you again so much, Martin. I'm going to and thank you so much everyone for as Martin said, submitting your projects, helping and supporting others, which is just as important as we say. Collaboration first, code second in EddieHub. Martin, I will end the stream in a moment. I'd love it if you can stay on for a few more minutes so I can thank you privately.
Yeah, I'll get the coupon over to you when we get offline as well.
Brilliant. Oh, and apparently people have tweeted about the session, so I will catch up on Twitter notifications, and I will reshare some of those over the next 12 hours or so as well. I love that. Laurel saying the kids love the stickers. I'm a kid then because I love the stickers as well.
I love some stickers, me. Yeah,
definitely. It makes the laptop go faster, right?
Yeah, definitely. Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
Have you had anyone ask you to sign their laptop, Eddie?
No, I would love that.
That is the most horrific and horrifying thing that's ever happened to me. I wrote a few books, so I was used to signing books and stuff, but somebody once handed me a Sharpie and asked me to sign their brand new Surface book. I'm like, so what I did was I found a sticker in my bag. And then I put the sticker on the laptop, and then I made sure my signature was smaller than the sticker. I was like, if you ever regret asking me for the signature, here's a sticker that you can put on top of it.
That's brilliant. I haven't asked it. I'd love someone to ask me, but I wouldn't do it because you're right. I think it's a bit I feel like I'm ruining someone's I'm ruining someone's device.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like someone asking me to touch their screen on their laptop. I'm not going to touch your screen on your laptop.
I wouldn't do that. Yeah.
That's so true. Let me bring up the countdown. I won't stay on for the whole minute, and I'll bring up some chat. And then Martin, I'll chat to you in like 30 seconds. Thank you so much, everyone. Again, I really appreciate it. Have an awesome weekend and get some rest, like Martin said, especially Praduma. Get some rest. Bye, everyone.